Hey folks, Phil Gallagher of Thraben U here for another Direct to YouTube special. Today we're going to play Sentinel Taxes, and I want to thank Lucas B for this donation. They shot me a dealer's choice donation, and well, I've got new cards to test. Okay, so this is not your traditional Death and Taxes list. So I got a starting point of a list from MTGO user Luinol, and we did a little bit of back and forth, and they told me that Aether Vial wasn't particularly good in the deck. And the reason is because you want to play Esper Sentinel on turn 1. And if this is a better play than Aether Vial, which normally was your best turn 1 play, maybe Aether Vial shouldn't be in the deck. So I'm going to take a very bold move here and actually cut Aether Vial from Death and Taxes and see how it goes. So we're looking to draw a whole bunch of cards off of this, and that means that it's okay to play some pitch cards. So I'm going to be testing out Chrome Mox and Force of Virtue in this build, although Solitude is something that I also think that should be a consideration for this build. Now, I don't think Esper Sentinel is great unless you do something to increase its power. And so I'm maxing out on Luminarch Aspirant here, so we can stack counters on Esper Sentinel, both turning it into a more relevant body and giving us another thing that snowballs out of control. If Esper Sentinel is must remove, and Aspirant is must remove, and Thalia is must remove, and Stoneforge is must remove for a reason that we'll talk about in a second, then your opponent can only do so much with their, 2 lightning bolts that they might have in the first 5 turns of the game. Force of Virtue is another thing that works really well with Esper Sentinel, both because it makes Esper Sentinel bigger, increasing the tax your opponent has to pay, and because, well, you're drawing cards and you have cards to pitch, so this works out pretty well. Notably, I'm not maxing out on Chrome Mox. I'm just going to test 2. We're going to try 22 lands and 2 Chrome Mox. Esper Sentinel is an artifact creature, and you can't imprint artifacts on this, so I'm not sure if we actually want to max out on Chrome Mox. The Stoneforge package that we're going to be playing is Jitte Batterskull and Caldera Complete, I suppose is the pronunciation. I don't know. I feel like it should be Compleat. Like, that's straight up a Latin subjunctive verb form, but I haven't heard anyone else besides me call it that, so we're going to go with Complete. This is kind of like a Reality Smasher on a piece of equipment. This is very aggressive, can probably do a lot of work in combo matchups, as opposed to something like Batterskull or Sword of Fire and Ice, so we're going to try it out. I'm not super sold on this card, but this card is of the correct power level that I would be a fool to not test it. Like, whenever you see new cards, if you're an archetype specialist, test them. Either you confirm that they're bad, and you lose out on an hour of your time, or you learn something. And honestly, you probably learned something either way. As far as the sideboard goes, we're going to be trying Sunlance in today's build. I expect to see a lot of Ragavan and Dragon Rage Channeler, and Path to Exile is kind of if you have to use it as a turn 1 play, and I really want to have removal on turn 1, hence Sunlance. If things like Delve Threats start seeing more play, this really needs to become Path to Exile, but for today, I think this is a reasonable inclusion. Okay. As always, I would appreciate likes on the video. That sort of thing is the single biggest predictor of video success. And something else important, really important. I am trying a new video editing software today. The goal of this is to automatically eliminate dead time from my videos and shorten the video for YouTube viewing purposes. If things are off about today's video, I need to know. Leave me comments, leave me timestamps. Let me know if you like this or don't like this. This is a big experiment for me. Let's see how it goes. Let's battle. Okay, my opening hand is a little bit land heavy, but hopefully with Esper Sentinel, that's actually just okay. All right, we have found the Delver deck right away. Do I wasteland? Do I wasteland after my opponent mulliganed? I think so. This thing isn't going to flip as quickly as a Delver is. Alright, so my opponent attacked in, and oh, I was not rewarded with a free win. Second one. Alright. Spooky. Stability. So, Esper Sentinel will probably draw me a lot of cards if it resolves. I'm not sure whether or not I'm supposed to play an Esper Sentinel or a 2-drop next turn, if I'm given the opportunity. But we'll think about that later. So, in case you're not familiar with Dragon Rage Channeler, by the way, it's a Delver sort of card. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you surveil 1. which lets you look at the top card of your library. You can put it into your graveyard. And if it has Delirium, it becomes a 3/3 flyer that attacks each turn if able. Alright, Brainstorm from the opponent, which starts the whole surveilling train. Or not, they like those cards apparently. Alright, new land from the opponent. I'll get poked for 2. So there's only land and instant over there as of right now. I think I'm going to go for Thalia this turn, and then hope to Stoneforge Mystic into Esper Sentinel next turn. Okay, Lightning Bolt takes out my Thalia. A land ditched into the graveyard with the first trigger, and a Brainstorm with the second. Okay, a lot of ways to play this turn, but I think I just want to find a source of life gain. I think I play Stoneforge around Daze. My opponent only has 1 card in hand. I'm just going to grab Batterskull. If my opponent gets Delirium in this next turn cycle, I really want to have the ability to gain some life. And my opponent will probably only have 1, maybe 2 outs to a Batterskull that gets into play. So what will you do with this tax, friend? What will you do? Are you going to pay and then make, like, your ability to cast a second thing worse? Or they will. Nice. So that Surveil put an Ethereal Forager into the graveyard. And now it's land, instant, creature. And Ponder will be sorcery, so I'm taking 6 this turn. Alright, so that's Scalding Tarn fetch, and notably, Esper Sentinel is only for the first non-creature spell each turn. What is this Lightning Bolt targeting? Lightning Bolt is targeting Stoneforge. That makes sense. I'm dead pretty quickly here. Those attack each turn if able. You're crashing in. Am I in a double chump block situation now? I can play Squadron Hawk into Squadron Hawk. Jump block both, attack for 1, then play Batterskull, take 6 in the air, crack for 4 back. That's probably my best bet. If I wasn't under quite so much pressure, I could, like, Squadron Hawk plus Aspirant, and then, like, trade with one of these, but I think... Oh, I didn't click on all of those. But I think it's necessary to just sponge up some damage here and hope my opponent doesn't have Daze next turn. Ponder from the opponent. They're going to pay the tax. Your Sentinel has not drawn a card yet. Interesting. So my opponent went top with the Surveils and then shuffled. I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to mean. Alright, do you have Daze or Pierce? No, you don't. Note, this is now a Phyrexian. Just a heads up for Plague Engineer-based reasons and similar things. I'm going to take 6 in the air this turn, going to 3. I'll die to Lightning Bolt. Alright, opponent has 2 cards. Am I dead? 3 mana? Getting a Delve Threat then? Explosive Iteration? Oh, it's Ethereal Forager. Opponent has 1 card. Ethereal Forager is a little bit of a pain in the butt here. 2 Squadron Hawks plus Aspirant, probably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana, yeah. So I'm going to do this Aspirant pre-combat and put a counter on the Germ. That puts me back to 8. Oh, opponent delved away cards for their Dragon Rage Channeler? Now their Dragon Rage Channelers are 1/1s? So you're telling me there's a chance. Land, instant, creature. If they have a sorcery, everything's fine for them. I probably need to play this Squadron Hawk just in case, though. As tempting as it is to just, like, ram the Thalia out there. If my opponent does just have a Ponder or something, I think I just need access to the extra blocker. Polluted Delta from my opponent. That's a win for me. Anything that is not specifically a sorcery here is just very good for me. Now, my opponent can attack with Ethereal Forager, put Ponder in hand, cast Ponder either post-combat or on the following turn, and then turn those back into big creatures again. Straight up, do you think they noticed that those aren't 3/3s? I'm going to block with Batterskull on one of these. This Esper Sentinel hasn't done jack this game. I think I'm going to block with it here. And then I'm going to take a chump here. Alright, my opponent is fetching. Let's see if they have something like a Tarfire that makes this whole situation bad for me. Lightning Bolt on the Germ token. Sure. Paying the tax for Esper Sentinel. Ooh. The Surveil is lucky there and puts a sorcery into the graveyard. Now I'm at 13, though. Force of Virtue. I mean, surely I go for it, right? Surely? Think here. Oh, the equip went through successfully. If I put it here? I will put it here. I'm also not sure if I'm supposed to wasteland my opponent now. The best time to do it would have been in my draw step, but I didn't have a stop set to think about it. Nice. Since all that worked, I think I will go ahead and just wasteland my opponent second main now. Nice. I can pitch cast Force of Virtue at some point. I will probably do that if Ethereal Forager attacks. Actually, this one has to attack. That's kind of rough for the opponent. I'm going to cast this right here. That plays around some double bolt sorts of situations. A single bolt would have traded. Double bolt doesn't. It's possible I'm not even supposed to block this. Then I just have two different lethal threats. Yeah, okay. My opponent has figured out how good my situation is. Okay, as far as sideboarding goes, I would like Sunlance. Suppose Rest in Peace is fine. My opponent has Delve threats as well as the Dragon Rage Channelers. Council's Judgment is okay. Spirit of Labyrinth and Sword are things that I could consider, but that I don't actually think are all that great. Generally speaking, I think I'm pretty well equipped to fight against my opponent here. I'm not sure what I don't want. Maybe the Force of Virtues are kind of weak. Yeah. Let's assume those are kind of weak and board those out, because that's a clean 4 for 4. My Squadron Hawks and such won't be quite as good, but I'm really looking to play a Stoneforge Mystic and Luminarch Aspirant based game, like in terms of finishing the game, not so much a Force of Virtue based game, so I think this is fine. It's possible I want Sword of Fire and Ice over Aldra Complete, but this is a hell of a clock. I just view this as being kind of slow. I'm going to take it. I think I'm fetching up Batterskull as my first piece of equipment most of the time anyway. So let's just see how this goes. Okay, my hand is such that this hand is excellent as long as Chrome Mox resolves, so I'm going to keep this hand. Alright, turn 1 Delver off Volcanic Island. Okay. Let's see if my Chrome Mox resolves. I'm going to have some thinking to do if it does. I think it's just Spirit of the Labyrinth here. I think this is my least valuable 2-drop currently. And in the hopes of double spelling next turn, I'm going to play Thalia into Daze. But if I draw a land, I want to be able to, like, mom into Hawk. Okay, nice, it worked. No Delver flip is huge for me. Island from my opponent. And Sprite Dragon. Sure. 1 damage. Now, my stuff is guaranteed to resolve here. Mom is 100% happening. And then I think Hawk happens while I know this resolves. This is a lot of chump blocks versus a Sprite Dragon. My opponent should be under a good amount of pressure from me. I don't mean in terms of life total. I mean in terms of like the warping effect that I'm having on the game. So I'm going to lose Mother of Runes this turn. And hopefully I'll draw a land and just take Sprite Dragon off the table, not have to worry about it getting bigger. Yep. This is all expected. I just go ahead and take all this damage here. Oh, another Delver. God, that's a lot of pressure. I think I need to put Squadron Hawk in the range where it can trade with Delver. And then I'll Council's Judgment away Sprite Dragon. That looks like, yeah. My stuff's resolving. I've got Thalia. Yeah. Then we put a counter on Squadron Hawk. A lot of the scariest Delver draws are actually the draws where they just have a pile full of creatures. Delver does not flip. Expressive Iteration is maybe not great this turn. The sorcery, so they have to cast it now if they want to cast it, but between the Thalia attacks and kind of how important it is to interact with my board right now, I don't know. how great that is for them. Alright. I don't think I need to hold back this Squadron Hawk. I think I can just play a new one. I think I just need to eliminate this source of damage. Okay, I can either play 2 Squadron Hawks or Council's Judgment. Council's Judgment is a little bit worse against counter spells. But puts me in the best overall position if it does actually resolve. This one's tricky. It's like if I cast Counterspell and my opponent just like Force of Wills it, I could take 7 or 8 damage next turn, and then I might actually be in burn range. I think I'm gonna try to gum up the board first. Hawk number 1 resolves. Hawk number 2 resolves. This counter goes on a Squadron Hawk. Need to start buffing the flyers. And Thalia can crash on in. Actually, I would trade Aspirant for Delver in a heartbeat here. Oh, my opponent does block. Oh, no. Got shy. Alright. No Delver flip again. Good news for Phil fans. Like that. Oh, Forked Bolt. Guarding Mom and Luminarch Aspirant. Probably have to save my Mom here. Goodbye, Aspirant. Hardly knew thee. I am planning on Council Judgmenting away Sprite Dragon. And then I can trade this with Delver at some point. I think 4 life is worth a quarter of a card. I don't think I have the luxury to play this around days currently. Oh, and opponent is just done with me. GG's. This hand is kind of medium looking. I get a Thalia, and that's kind of it. Like, it'll be a 3-2 Thalia on turn 2, and then I have a dead card. I think I mulligan this hand. This hand is more stable. I'll keep this and toss back the piece of equipment. Wooded Foothills? Please don't be elves. Well, that's not elves, but I don't know that it's better for me. Oh! Dope. There's not a bunch of Vengevines in there, so that's the good news. This is exciting. So in case you're not familiar with this card, this is like Basking Rootwalla, but red. And it has sort of a fire-breathing sort of effect on it, which is pretty legit. And less mana than Basking Rootwallas. Oh baby, we're going apparently. Lion's Eye Diamond now. Holy shit. Okay, I don't know Kitchen Imp. A Flying Haste. Alright, so my opponent's going to ignore Anji's Ravager and just make 4 power worth of Flying Haste on turn 1. What the fuck? Is this legal? Is this allowed? I'm going to be at 16 on turn 1, facing 6 damage a turn, every turn. Okay, so quick math. Actually, really, it's 8 damage, right? Because that thing is fire breathing. So I'm going to take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, go to 6, and then basically die. I don't think my Batterskull is going to save me. I play land, I attack Rebellion, I play land, I play Stoneforge, I die. Yeah. Dead. Okay. Well. Sunlance looks great. My Graveyard Hate good? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Madness, though. A lot of these things are going to be discarded into exile. I guess there's like Vengevines and stuff. Alright, let's play the Graveyard Hate. Rest in peace, 2 Containment Priest. I'm not sure about Surgical. Let's think about what comes out. This is big. It's like a truck. I'm gonna fetch Batterskull first, though, I think. Can I go to 2 pieces of equipment here? Might be able to just go to 2 pieces of equipment here. But being able to fetch this up, pressure my opponent if I have like a Rest in Peace or Containment Priest in play is kind of sick too. I am going to be rumbling in combat, so the Force of Virtues are okay. I'm a little worried about these flyers. I'm going to go down on all of these. That gets my various hate cards in. Maybe I should Spirit of the Labyrinth for Faithless Looting. I'm straight up unsure how much of an impact Surgical Extraction is going to have, as a weird amount of stuff is going to just dodge it. I don't know. Maybe I do this. I'm very unsure. Is this hand good enough on the play? It's a very fast Batterskull. I'm going to try to keep this. I don't know if this is fast enough. My opponent's deck is blisteringly fast. Like, that was a fucking vintage start. Alright. Land Bomb, go. Street Wraith from my opponent. Street Wraith from my opponent. We're starting to get into Hollow 1 territory. Yep. Yeah, so Cauldron Complete seems legit if my opponent is going to do that much to themselves. Alright, Faithless Looting. This deck is scary. Alright, just discarding some lands. Is that it? That's it. Okay, cool. I'm going to use this ability to grab my Batterskull. I am not going to get cheeky and attack for 1. I have not seen any deck list quite like what my opponent is doing. And, like, I don't know if there's, what is it, like a Lightning Axe sort of card in here somewhere. I don't want to just eat a bunch of damage or lose a really good board position for no reason. Alright, Putrid Imps hit the graveyard. Burning Inquiry. Oh no. Please let me keep the Batterskull. We kept the Batterskull. Oh shit. Alright, that's a hollow one. That's fine. Like, I have Batterskull. I might want the Cauldron Complete for the next game. Given that Burning Inquiry sorts of things might happen and I might lose equipment. Main phase? I can't think of a reason why I would need to main phase. I might play around a sorcery speed piece of disruption by waiting. Alright, Swamp from my opponent into Flashback Looting. Sure. Alright, and my opponent just concedes the game here. Alright, given Burning Inquiry, I think I am going to go ahead and take this on the draw. And I also am going to take 1 additional removal spell on the draw, I think. Is Jitte too slow? Jitte connecting can kill the Root Wallows. They don't buff their toughness. I'll keep Jitte. Need to make 2 cuts if I'm going to do this. Making the cuts is a little hard. Is it Esper Sentinel? Could be Esper Sentinel. Kind of medium in this matchup. Although my opponent is pretty tight on mana. Maybe do a halfway point, cut 1 Esper Sentinel and 1 Aspirant. So this opening hand is entirely of a question of like how much do I believe in Esper Sentinel and the top of my deck. I think since I have Rest in Peace, I am supposed to keep this hand. Like with 1 land drop, this is basically an ideal hand. These 5 cards are just awesome in the matchup. Alright, Street Wraith. The Badlands and Faithless Looting. Alright, Basking Root Wallow into play, and Ox in the graveyard. Ox isn't that scary until there's more cards around. Alright. My opponent's deck is really tight on mana, so if they play around this tax, they probably get slowed down considerably. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to get a card here. Aspirant is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for lands. Chromox also would be acceptable. Firestorm. Gross. Fury. Oh, this is the Pyrokinesis. Sure, I mean, that costs you a card. Yeah. I got 2 cards for Esper Sentinel, and it drew me a card. That is a great deal. Ooh, LED. Now, I want to have enough graveyard cards in graveyard for Ox. Yes. Alright, so my opponent has produced a 5/3. In the grand scheme of things, I think this is still fine. Like, I have removal spells in hand. I have a Source of Life Gain. I have Mother of Runes, which can stall the board. I am definitely at a disadvantage, especially if I don't draw a land. But I don't think this is game over by any stretch of the imagination. I'll go to 19. Alright. I've looked at a few cards and haven't found a land. Things are still okay. I'm not going to trade for Basking Root Wallow here. It's just important that my Mother of Runes becomes active. Okay, that's not a land, but it's good. JK, it's not good. Good is the fact that, like, I have 1 active Mother of Runes, soon to be 2 active Mother of Runes. Okay. We're just going to take my block here. I need to get cute and go for double block situations or anything. Alright, I am successfully pro-red. Oh, do you have, like, an Abrupt Decay? Sure. Okay, well, slow game is slow. Sunlance doing work. Alright, Lion's Eye Diamond from the opponent. Okay, my opponent discards their hand. Looks like they're going to Madness some stuff in. Vengevine was discarded. That's not great for me. Alright, here they come. Mom needs to be pro-green. And I need to draw a land. Thank you. I haven't mathed this out, but I assume that this is my only play. I also might just take enough damage this turn where I die anyway. Okay. I block Stoneforge on Vengevine, give it protection. Block Blazing Rootwalla here. Pump, I take 5, go to 2. And then this attacks in the air and kills me. May not have outs. Alright, Basking Rootwalla gets pumped. Other runes keeps Stoneforge alive. Alright, I think we had that one really easily if I drew the land sooner. I mean, we even had Esper Sentinel to get some extra cards, but it didn't work out. I guess my opponent can make a bad attack and something can work out somehow. But all they have to do is attack with only Kitchen Imp. Alright, they figured it out. GG's, I have been bested. Womp womp. Okay, due to a recording error, game 1 of this match was just lost. We are playing versus Painter, and they turned to me. Not much to be done. Apologies there. Messing around with some new stuff means that errors are going to happen from time to time. Alright, Goblin Welder from the opponent. That's a little awkward in terms of timing. I think it's most important to get this effect into play. My opponent showed me Simian Spirit Guide last game, which is how they were able to just combo off so quickly. Nice. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and crash in for 2 with Thalia. Then I can play a Squadron Hawk, search up 3 more copies of it, play a land imprint one, and that's probably good. I don't think I need to just immediately slam Rest in Peace here. 1, 2, 3 Bird Boys. Land. Chrome Mox. I'm just going to imprint 1 bird because Thalia is Thalia, and if it dies, I want to have access to another one. Mountain from my opponent to Recruiter. Sure. Getting Painter's Servant. Okay, so I've got the graveyard-based stuff on lockdown. I port my opponent with 2 of my mana. That leaves me 3 other mana, probably for Containment Priest in this turn cycle. Alright, opponent goes to 15. I'm going to try to port down a land. What is this? Indestructible artifact land that enters tapped. Sure. I'm just going to go ahead and put Containment Priest into play in response. Alright, everything is blue. Batterskull. That'll be good in a bit. It's not really good now. I think I am officially scared enough that I will go ahead and play out Rest in Peace. I don't want to run into Goblin Engineer finding something and then putting it into play. And I think I will just keep my opponent off of their white mana. Crash in for 1 with the bird. Upkeep port you. My opponent takes no actions on their turn. Alright. Am I just jamming Batterskull? My clock is anemic right now. Painter is walling most of my stuff. Basically, the only thing I'm stopping is Grindstone plus Activate in 1 turn. I think my opponent would 2-turn it if they had it, because that deck's so redundant that I think you just play 1 out, and if 1 gets Council Judgmented or whatever, it's fine. Alright, Pyroblast, targeting Rest in Peace, followed by Pyroblast targeting Batterskull. So opponent has left a Lotus Petal in the graveyard, notably here. Wait, hold on. Pyroblast targeting Rest in Peace. Pyroblast targeting Batterskull. Then activate Goblin Welder targeting Chrome Mox and Batterskull? Hey, you're just showing off that you can do that? Okay. I guess you just Goblin Welder again, and then I have to re-imprint something off Chrome Mox. Yeah, that was your plan. That's fine. I'm not gonna give up a card there. Neat. Alright, Karn minus. Karn will get Grindstone. Yeah. So I'm probably dead. Yeah. We did not have the right sort of hate here. There's a possibility I can live another turn, but it's not great. I hit Karn for 1. Port down a land here. Okay, LED plus Grindstone means that I am just dead. I can go ahead and concede here. Okay, I've kept an opening hand that makes a Stoneforge on turn 1, and then has Squadron Hawk as backup. Big luck. Big luck, big fan, good luck. You too. This is just going to be pitching a Sellers to Plowshares because I don't know whether or not it will be good in the dark. Alright. And I think under international law, I'm required to get the new card here. Like, it's turn 1, I'm on the play, and I have the option to create a Reality Smasher on turn 2. That legit seems pretty strong. Grim Monolith. Metalworker. Oh man. I respect the hell out of this. But opponent, I am going to fucking body you here. I'm sorry. This is gross. I'm going to put my 5/5 into play. And then I'll just port my opponent down for the rest of the game. Not used to Germ tokens tapping. That's kind of weird. Lightning Greaves. Okay. Yep. So Aspirant. I guess we'll make this bigger. Because fuck it, why not? I mean, something like a Maze of Ith is the reason why not, but I have Rashaten Port. Alright. Rashaten Port doing work, I assume. Yep. That's cool. Did I just have turn 4 Goldfish, by the way? 7, 8, 9? I had a turn 4 Goldfish. Actual factual kill on turn 4 with Death and Taxes. Fuck yeah. Alright, what do I have that blows up stuff? Council's Judgment. Council's Judgment comes in. Sunlance may or may not be good. I don't know exactly what my opponent's build is going to look like. If they have small critters, like small Eldrazi, or Crystalline Giant, good to play Sunlance. Otherwise, it's kind of eh. As usual, I think I'm going to trim one of those. And I'm not sure what to do from there. Maybe nothing. Maybe Sunlance. Maybe Spirit of Labyrinth is just a creature with 3 power that I can turn sideways. That's probably reasonable too. I think I'm just going to do that. I just want my opponent dead before they get to do cool things. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and concede this game. I also just realized that for some portion of this I was muted. So I'm going to have to go back and check out the video and see if that was all of game 1 or what. I am having some trouble using this software. Alright, so it's up to like the 6-minute mark in this video. Notes to self for later. I think I need to board in Sunlance and board out 2 Force of Virtues now. Yes, I would like to play. I think I keep this hand. The aggressive Aldra Compleat before just killed my opponent very quickly. And I'll see if I can run that back. Alright, little tax man, woman, construct, entity, do your thing. Alright, Ancient Tomb, Grim Monolith, I get to draw a card. Oh, that's a fantastic draw. Oh, that's very good for my opponent. Yet. Damn. So I can Wasteland and Swords to Plowshares, I guess. It might just be better. Well, yeah, I guess I can try to attack for 1 as well. Alright, get in there, little buddy. They blocked. By Esper Sentinel, I presume 1 damage to me. Yeah. Wastelanding from the position that I'm in is not great. Okay, they did have a land to start doing Manifold Key stuff again. Ugh. Alright, Karn minuses for Liquimetal Coating. That's actually not that big of a deal. Alright, where's my hasty boy? Alright, opponent doing the Grim Monolith thing again. Yep. Sorcerer Spyglass gets to name Stoneforge Mystic. Rough. And here we see a big difference between, say, a Batterskull and the Aldra Complete, just in terms of hard castability. That's a pretty good draw. this is aggression, which is something I desperately need right now. Send 2 at Karn. Grim Monolith. Untap said Grim Monolith. 5 mana. Forge Master. That's a big butt. And I'll lose another land. Another Aspirant off the top would be hot. Oh shit, I forgot to board out Moms. Mom was the obvious board out. I assume Forge Master just kills me next turn. Literally or effectively. And keep Karn from tutoring, but I throw away a body in process, and I'm not sure that that's something I can do right now. Play a bird. Get something with evasion into play. That way I have a chance of actually poking the Karn for relevant amounts of damage. But I think I'm just getting, like, Blightsteeled this turn. Alright, Liquimetal Coating targets my planes. I lose a planes. And that's it. Just terrifyingly, the Forge Master is active and ready. Chrome Mox doesn't actually make mana. I guess I can start by going to combat and make choices after that. I assume my opponent could just fish out an Ensnaring Bridge too. Which would make this exact play awkward, but I don't know. If they're getting something that doesn't kill me, that's a win, right? Okay, looks like the Squadron Hawk successfully gets in there. And I guess I play another. Boarding my opponent doesn't really accomplish much. Just need pressure. I think I'm just going to die to like a Blightsteel or something here, but you never know. Alright, Manifold Key untaps one of the monoliths. I'm just really surprised that this Forge Master is out and there's nothing worth getting. Like, it seems like there should be at least one big dumb artifact in there that just wins the game. Goodbye, Rashaten Port. Okay. We're gonna try to put a counter on this Squadron Hawk. And attack Karn for 2, and then for 3. I am expecting something to go wrong at any time. Like, there is a Forge Master. Okay. So now what? Now Chrome Mox is live, at least for this turn. Junk Mother of Runes. Could grab Jitte. Just make more flyers. This has been the plan thus far. Okay, lots of mana. 8 mana. More than 8 mana. Very large Walking Ballista. Very larger Walking Ballista. Ah, the Blightsteel Colossus was in hand. So they can give it Lightning Greaves. Sure. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage next turn. Theory. Stoneforge is still revoked. I guess I block with this. I don't know exactly what my outs are because I can't draw Council Judgment. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I am dead here. GG's. Okay, I'll be keeping this hand. We've got an Esper Sentinel to start with, which I think I play before Mother of Runes? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Alright. Opponent is a fan of the stream. I think I just want to like guarantee the card out of this every time that I can guarantee the card out of this, and then play double Mother of Runes the following turn. Beautiful. These are gonna stack, right? Yeah. Yeah. I would like to draw the cards. Oh man. Opponent just had Urborg Dark Depths Hexmage, and then it doesn't matter. LOL! LOL! Everything's gonna be okay. Let's search for 3 bird friends. So this turn I'm not gonna attack. Starting next turn, I can safely attack using a Mother of Runes aggressively. Alright, my opponent does the thing. See, this is the sort of spot where I would love a Force of Virtue. I think he just hold that back. Yeah. A Stoneforge. I can get a Batterskull and try to go to 24. Is that my plan? Might be my plan, so I don't just fold to a Jitte. Or sorry, to 1 hit, like from a Sajiri step. Yeah, that's probably fine. We'll push a whopping 1 damage a turn. Yep. Opponent says in chat, oh yes, Marit Laj's greatest weakness, a mom and her pet hawk. They get a smiley face in chat. For sure. Alright. You'll go ahead and Stoneforge. Yes. Jitte's better in some worlds. Because I can actually gain the life next turn if I rip a land. I think I'm gonna grab Jitte. Oh wow, my opponent just concedes here. That seems like an early concession to me. But they might just have nothing. Okay. I don't have much for this matchup. Like, the stuff that's good is in the main deck already. Swords to Plowshares, Karakas. Bunch of fucking hawks. I can Sunlance for things like Bob and Reclaimer and Vampire Hexmage in some spots. I think I'll do that. And I think I will Council's Judgment. There's things like Sylvan Library that can be annoying. And I think I'll go down on Force of Virtues like I've been doing in every match. I don't know. This is a deck where my opponent probably can't remove Esper Sentinels. I might get a lot of cards. Maybe let's trim and not cut this time. And Spirit of Labyrinth can be the odd man out here. This hand is medium, but I think I keep it. It has a turn 1 Thalia, turn 2 Stoneforge, and I get access to all 3 pieces of equipment. Opponent is going to 5. They kept on 5. Bayou Pithing Needle. Alright. You have strong feelings about my Karakas, I imagine. Maybe Wasteland. Nope, Karakas. I think that's going under. Despite the fact that it's kind of sick. It's just awkward timing, but I think I want to turn 1 this after my opponent mulligans to 5. Burden Catacombs fetch. That's it. That's a great draw. That means I can double spell this turn. Esper Sentinel is a go. Followed by Stoneforge for my 1 missing piece of equipment. Urborg. Do Sylvan's Scrying. I'll get to draw a card here. Mother of Runes. Alright, so they have found Dark Depths. Okay. If I had a 4th land, I'd be a little more confident about not playing Batterskull. I probably just need to play Batterskull. Like Mom plus Batterskull this turn. Back for 3. Then be able to go to 24. I attack for a shit ton the following turn. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Force of Virtue will maybe become live if my opponent draws me into a white card that's not good. Alright, there's the Dark Depths. Alright, Crop Rotation. Get a Chrome Mox. Not doing much. Alright, Thespian Stage comes out. Would love to draw a Hawk or a removal spell. Damn you, Karakas! Okay. So I just maximize the amount of life that I gain this turn by putting in Jitte. So assuming Batterskull gets blocked, my opponent takes 2, 3, 4 damage. Puts them to 10. Next turn, they can take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 exactly. Don't hate that. If I'm gaining 4 life already, and I just put in Kaldra Complete, probably just put in Kaldra Complete this turn as well. Just do that. Alright, it has successfully entered play. Yes, 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 yes. Send them. I believe this thing is indestructible, right? The germ is as well? Yes. Alright, what is this Abrupt? Abrupt Decay is targeting the germ token. I repeat, Abrupt Decay is targeting the indestructible germ token. 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. Opponent goes to 2. I'm waiting for the, oh god, I've made a terrible mistake in chat. Alright, I've drawn Mother of Runes. My thing isn't destroyed. And my opponent concedes the game after making that error. That's totally fair. Alright, closing thoughts. This league went okay in that I received a 3-2 record, but I learned a lot from this league. I didn't miss Aether Vials, I didn't miss Flicker Wisps, which is super weird. Having more early game plays is really good. Kaldra Complete is very potentially a main deckable card in normal Death and Taxes. The pressure that this provides allows you to pivot a game very quickly. I need more games with something like this to really make any real conclusions. I will say the Force of Virtues felt very bad in this deck list. I don't know that those need to be there. You can probably just play some other reasonable Magic cards over those. Maybe not more Spirit of the Labyrinths because that's awkward with Esper Sentinel. But you can probably try to fill some gaps with things other than Force of Virtue. I would continue testing the other cards in the main deck as is. As far as the sideboard goes, honestly, it felt pretty good. Maybe I think there was one change I said I wanted to make earlier. I don't remember what it was. Maybe that you don't even need Sword of Fire and Ice in the 75, as crazy as that sounds. But I hope this has given you all a great starting point for testing an interesting deck list. All right, folks, have a great rest of the day. Before you go, please consider liking and subscribing if you aren't already, and leave me any comments if you have them, especially if you have ideas about building this deck.